came and got you, basically told you.
Hmm.
And
Wait, what did they lose their original land to?
well, they didn't actually. They did. They just lost their temple, which was much more complex than what this village is now. This is a nice village, actually. It's just not. This just isn't a a sand and sticks tied up for a fence. This is actually a nice fortified village with a nice mound in the center of the village with the small pyramid on it, and they have it's connected to the Great Wall that overlooks the village. There's multiple clans that actually live within the village. There's plenty of it. They're definitely domesticated because they have livestock, so that they have horticulture going. They have gardens. They have a graveyard. Um, they have towers that they actually So they're not just a bone in the nose type of stereotypical native that a lot of people think they are. These are actually a pretty civilized people for being out in the middle of nowhere. 300 miles or whatever, 390 miles from the mainland. They're actually in pretty good shape. They definitely can sustain themselves, and they have for centuries.
Right.
And
Is
I
there
mean,
a red light district?
they have a pretty decent defense as well. I mean, they have tar pits outside,
I mean,
as
they
you
have a
guys can
giant
see.
wall.
Yeah, they have the wall. They also they have tar pits. They said that they're telling you that they've actually recently um, dug deep enough down into the earth and have formed these mud pits because there have been uh, as of the last several years, there's attempts of night raids on the village, and that's why they have the wall up, because they were having a problem with other settlements, not only on this island, but on other islands as well, that people were being stolen and disappearing. Basically, is what was
Mm,
happening.
Sounds like pirates.
indeed.
Could be.
Is there a red light district to this
There
village?
is no red light district. I'm sorry.
Is there a tavern?
There is no tavern. But
Any alcohol?
the gentleman that came and greeted you and took you up to the village actually says that Mira will see you now.
Fantastic.
So he takes you into he leads everybody into a pavilion type of structure, and Mira is sitting, and not in a throne type of golden chair or anything, but she's sitting in a nice ornated and decorated chair. Different trinkets and shells and some fruits hanging off, and you can tell that Mira is definitely of age. She's definitely an elder. She definitely has aged in the last 45 years. And she says, "Do I know you?"
I
Do
walk
I know
forward a little
you?
bit and I bow, just not like a full bow, but
Ah,
just
quit your groveling.
lower my.
No, I'm just kidding. Just go. I'm just
Anyways,
kidding.
so it's not like a full bow. I just kind of lean forward in a sense of honor, and I say, "My name
Quit
is
your
Gim,
groveling.
son of Garm. Would you happen to be Mira of the Hawk?"
Mira of the Hawk I am. And your father was Garn?
Yes.
That is not a name that I have heard in many decades. How is Garn?
I'm sad to tell you that my father has passed in battle. But he I've recently come across his journal, which indicates that he's been here and met your tribe and traveled these lands, and noted in his journal that he wanted someday to come back with me and go, and travel the land here. So, I'm here to sort of continue his wishes and follow in his footsteps.
Yes, he was here many decades ago. They were searching for some crystals, some emeralds that are told to be within our temple. We personally don't know if there is anything in the temple because we have not been there for many centuries. But as the legend says, there are crystals of great power within the temple.
Is this a temple that belongs to your people?
Yes, it
or
did.
Belonged to your
Yeah,
people?
it had belonged to us until the dragon came.
Oh my. So a dragon inhabits the temple?
We don't know if the dragon is there anymore. We do not go up there. We have not gone up there for centuries.
Yeah, that's a safe play.
Some adventurers would come, and the last group of adventurers came several years back, and they were only here for a short period of time, and a lot of them had died, and they never even made it to the temple.
Is there anything you know about the travel to the temple that would benefit us as far as what they may have experienced along the way that was so deadly?
Well, there's massive amounts of reptiles, not only crocodiles, but there are other lizard-like type of large creatures that are also inhabiting the island. There's also a spider lair where actually we have gone to actually try to extract poison from the spiders to make things that we need here, and also the silk from their sacks. And we've lost many of villagers trying to extract the goods that we need from them. And there's also several other villages here. There's some primitive people that live on this island as well, and there's a couple other nomadic tribes as well. We are not at war with anyone, especially lately within the last several years. We've been actually aiding one another because of the disappearings that are happening at night. We don't know if it's related to the dragon or to any evilness within the temple, or we just don't know.
If we were to travel to this temple and return, is there anything that your clan would wish to receive should we find? Is there anything of note or anything of importance that you would have retrieved from the temple?
Just the plates that our people created back when we actually migrated to this. We are actually from the mainland. Our people are from the mainland. Like I said, many years ago, many centuries ago, we came here. And we had lived here for several centuries, and then the dragon came. The green dragon came and ran us out. But we do have plates with the history of our people that we would love to have those back one day. But we're simple folk here. We're not warriors. We're not adventurers. We just live.
By chance, are the other tribes are they territorial or are they peaceful?
In the past, we've had some small run-ins with um, a couple of the tribes, but as of late, like I said, we have not been warring. But in the past,
They
we
they
have had
probably
to defend the village once in a while, but that was many years ago.
that being said, they probably won't take well to outsiders like us, given
Yeah, I would assume so as well. Is there anything by chance, when you go out and travel, do you carry a symbol with you or anything that recognizes you as part of this clan that would be recognizable to those villages that you have peace with?
No, we just wear what everyone else wears. I mean, you know, you can see what they're wearing. I mean, they're basically, you know, they'll have some, you know, teeth for necklaces and uh, no fancy weaponry or anything like that. I mean, and there's no really no identifiable pieces of armor they're wearing, or I mean, everything is pretty basic around here. I mean, there's really no. She's about the most decorated person, you know, with feathers and shells and stuff.
Yeah, but there's nothing like a clan symbol or anything,
No.
or something of note that other clans would recognize.
Well, there is a. You know, she does. Hold on one second. I've got to scroll up a little bit, man. She does tell you about there is the four different sections of the actual village itself. One there's four clans that actually make this up, and one is the elk, the hawk, which she is from, the tiger, and the sea turtle. So basically, they'll wear little trinkets of, you know, of that clan that they're from the village. You know, whether it be an elk, a tiger, a hawk, or a sea turtle. But that's as ornate as they get for, you know, decorating and stuff like that.
Okay.
But there's nothing to distinct them from another tribe. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just trying to look for something that would be able to identify that we're on, you know, traveling on behalf of the tribe. So.
right. But even then, it's still probably more of an outsider is an outsider kind of deal.
Yeah, and
No, I
you
don't
know,
disagree with that.
and you know, you're even putting two and two together that if she had not known your dad from years prior, they probably wouldn't even want to talk to you right now.
Okay.
But she says that Mira says that you're welcome to stay, and they will. You know, she goes on to say that your father was well respected, and because he actually saved her life 45 years ago from a primitive type of lizard man that had taken her as captive and wanted ransom and yada 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 and all that other bullshit. So, you know, your father and his crew actually saved her, but in the process lost some of their company. So they basically just after several, maybe a week or so of being on the island, that's when they went back. But the week that your father was on this island actually mapped the island really well, and you know, there are mention of ogres and lizard men and other creatures like that. There's also something about like a primitive or, you know, Neanderthal type of tribe that's here. Another tribe of Aranea. Lots of
Would that?
reptile type of crocodiles, and even some other
Okay.
ancient, not ancient, but storybook type of creatures, sort of like dinosaurs.
If okay, so we do have a map of this island. Is that
Yeah,
what
the
we're looking at?
yeah
Do
the
we
map.
actually have that map?
Well, yeah, you do. You have it now. Yeah, your dad actually had this map already mapped out in your journal.
Okay, so
The map of
could we get
Tanarana,
them-
yeah, Tanara, yeah, you had that map. You have this map. Even though it has changed, they've actually, your father's map wasn't as in much detail, but you know it's been 45 years since your father was here, so you know now you sketch, you take a half an hour, 35 minutes, and update your map, and you can actually upgrade what your dad already had.
Okay, so can we note on here where the temple is and maybe the area or areas where we would expect the
Yeah.
ogres, the lizard man, the crocodile, stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. Let me get my select pointer. This area here, that is the temple area. So that is that's the temple area. But as for the other areas, your father really didn't have exact locations. But
Yeah, but don't
the
they
temple was no, because they really don't leave the confines of this peninsula here. That's why they have the wall and everything.
know? Does she remember where she was attacked by the lizard man?
Yeah, she's thinking about it as I'm thumbing through this PDF.
Is there a pass through the mountains?
Looks like there's a river. We want to take a boat.
Yeah, but
It
then
looks like
we
there's
would
a-
have to sail all the way around.
Well, it looks like well, it looks like there's a trail leading from the Great Wall to a
To a
lake.
tar pit.
Or no, it's a tar pit. Yeah.
Well, she says that the lizard men were in this area of the island. She points to your map.
Okay.
And also said that she had seen, because her people actually scout, the confines of the island, and they do have some watchtowers up around the coast. And they said, she has said that from time to time they actually see, I got to, 1 second. They see ships in the distance traveling this way. God damn it. Hold on.
Out of curiosity, I was trying to look for movement in miles per day, and I didn't see anything in the rules.
I think it's in how to play. I know that you can move, I think it's 2 hours per 6 miles is what for this module. And the mountainous terrain, I think, is 4 to 6 hours. I'll give you an exact number. But we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon anyway, because it is 2 o'clock in the morning, so. But she said that, Mira has said that off the coast, the southern tip of the most southern tip of the island, they can see boats heading in this type of direction. And that's the only time that they actually see ships, and they're always traveling to the west. They're never traveling from west to east. They're always traveling from east to west.
That sounds strange, but
Got a message.
so they go
in
and
our
never
hands.
come back.
But she says there are several small islands as well. And she says your map is pretty accurate. Your father did a well job. His cartography was had a good skill in cartography. So, but she does not know what's on the islands. Her people really do not leave the peninsula unless they're fishing off of the coast. But she knows that ships travel from east to west.
Okay. Well, I think depending on what time of day it is, if it's early enough, it's fine for us to go ahead and start to head out. If it's later, if it's after, in the early evening, we probably should rest and start in the morning. Ask if they're willing to put us up in the village.
Yeah, they already said that
Yeah,
that was fine.
she said that you can have a quarter. You can have some shelter and everything, and there's plenty of room in the village. She says you can stay in her, in her part of the village, which is the Hawk clan, and she'll set you up. And she has somebody take off and said that they'll have something ready for you within several minutes.
Thank you very much.
And she says, "You're all going to die." No, I'm just kidding. I joke around too much about shit like that. No, but she does.
And a black dragon appears.
Yeah, she does mention that she does have a small problem. And I have a
Arthritis?
yeah, right.
Dementia?
All right.
Dementia.
Needs a red light district massage.
Oh boy.
Deep tissue.
She does say that she's got a grandson, Doran, that is supposed to be taking her position when she moves on in life and visits the elders. He is well renowned throughout the village, and he is missing. And Doran had set out a number of days ago on an expedition with several other venturesome natives within the village. And
An expedition to?
they wanted to find out more about the ships that were coming closer to the area itself. And so she suspects one of the western smaller islands, even though she doesn't know, and she doesn't, she can't guarantee anything, but that's where Dorn was headed to. And Dorn's been gone for several days now, and she knows that Dorn just wouldn't disappear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aerith will say we will surely search for him.
So he headed out to the south.
They actually left in, like canoes or rafts or whatever they have. Not rafts, but dug out trees and everything. And they started following the coastline, and that was the last time that Dorn and I think we'll just say that there's 5 villagers, and they just went out. They just wanted to go see where these ships were going, because whenever they can see the ships come in from the horizon, the ships actually get closer. And like I said, like I had drawn on the map, these ships are traveling from east to west, and like the arrow depicts, they're starting to come inland and actually starting to go this way as well. So, and then they lose sight of the ships once they go over the horizon. What's a horizon? 25, 30 miles?
Give or take.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
temple
I
will
think
still be
we'll-
there.
Oh, the
Yeah, we'll go
temple's
ahead
been
and
there
retire for the night.
hundreds of years.
Let's retire for the night, and we can discuss which path we want to travel.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, they have your quarters ready within the Hawk Clan district of the village. And she says if there is anything that you need, just let her know, and she will do what she can.
Some mead would be nice.
How much for the woman? Anyways, we're gonna call it a night here, guys, and
Cool.
you guys can figure out what you want to do. If you guys want to, explore the island, if you want to go for him first, there's lots of options here on the Isle of Dread. That's for sure. There are tons of options. This is a massive, and don't be reading that damn module either.
I don't do shit like that.
All right.
It ruins
That takes
the whole
all
thing.
the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Let's create a casino.
Right? Native casino.
Let's tell them that the value of gold has plummeted in the mainland.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody watching
Colorful
the
beads are
stream,
the new currency.
and we will be streaming this game every Saturday night at 10 p.m. We'll be
Worth
getting started
trillions.
a lot earlier next week. We were missing 2 players,
So
so I had to get a couple temporary replacements. But I will be looking for
there's
full-time
multiple,
replacements.
routes that we could take or whatever to get where we want to go.
Be ready for next week. So I'm going to shut the stream off now. And thanks everybody for watching. Take it easy.